So, I know, March Madness has been all the talk this week. Incredible games in March Madness. Not trying to say anything negative about it, but while that's been going on, there has been some fun NBA storylines going on, including Luka Doncic's MVP. Kind of odds increasing right now. On top of that, just some fun storylines that have been happening over the past couple days with some other good games. And some performances you guys probably did not see or know about. So you guys know that's what I'm here for. I'm here to talk about them. Let's go all the way back to Friday, first and foremost. Let's go all the way back to Friday where we got to see Knicks take down the Nets. Where I want to give credit to a couple of these Nets players because I've been on the Nets all season long for how bad their young players have been and how bad I thought their development has been all season. I want to give credit to this guy, Nolan Traore. 19th overall pick in the draft. I was very skeptical of the Nets taking multiple first-round picks on what I thought were very similar guard types. Such as Jaeger Demon, Nolan Traore, Ben Seraph. What up, Shakin? Happy Sunday. But Nolan Traore has really been the guy as of recently who's kind of shined in this Brooklyn Nets offense with his three-point shooting and his ability to not make too many mistakes on the basketball court. I know that the turnover numbers aren't great, but as a younger point guard, what do you expect, especially in Brooklyn? Shakin, you knew this. You saw me yesterday. I said I was going to be here today for Sunday to make up for... I'm not going to be here tomorrow, so making up tomorrow, today. But the Knicks pulled out this one. The Knicks continue to really, really, really struggle, though, as of recently. It's really their wing players that have been playing really, really struggling basketball. Mikal Bridges has not looked good. Landry Shamet has not been putting the ball in the basket like he was earlier in the season. Jordan Clarkson brings solid bench production because they really don't have anyone else. But, I just think it's so funny to see, Jeremy Sohan, Hakporti, Didiat, these guys were getting minutes just recently. And yet in a close game against Brooklyn came all the way back in the fourth quarter. Yeah, right, Shakin? Oh, that's funny you say that. Right? It's been a while since I missed a Monday. That's funny. But yeah, Knicks take down the Nets in a one-point win. I just want to talk about the Knicks a little bit because I'm starting to get worried about those wing players. OG plays really well, but Mikel's been really struggling recently. I will continue to say I don't love Mitchell Robinson, but yeah, that's kind of my Knicks talk for right now. The Rockets took down the Hawks in this one. I'm going to talk about the Atlanta Hawks in a little bit, but I do want to talk about Houston because there's been a player for Houston who's been playing lights out as of recently over the past couple of days. That's going to be Reed Sheppard. Reed Sheppard, former third overall pick in last year's draft, has been awesome for the Houston Rockets. Just yesterday against Miami, he dropped 23 points, 14 assists, and 4 steals with 0 turnovers. We've been saying Houston needs a point guard all season long. They've had him sitting on his bench with the third overall pick. 14, 4-4 against Atlanta. 11, 2-3 against LA. 18 points against New Orleans. Really, really cool stuff there from Reed Sheppard. I thought it was interesting, though, because even after all these Reed Sheppard good games, Ime Udoka came out and said Reed Sheppard will not be continuing to stay in the starting lineup. I would rather have Reed Sheppard running the 1, Amen Thompson running the 2, and then kind of build the depth out from there with Kevin Durant at the 3, Jabari at the 4, Sengun at the 5, as opposed to continuing to run like Tari Eason at that forward position, or, Dorian Finney-Smith sometimes will come in. I really think that they should keep this starting lineup going. Tari Eason has, I don't know if you know this, guys, but even his mom was tweeting out how bad he's been shooting the ball recently. It's kind of funny, the storyline going on. His mom reached out to Lethal Shooter and was like, yo, if you could turn this celebrity into a good shooter, why can you not turn my son into Steph Curry by the playoffs? So I thought that was really fun to look at the storylines there. But yeah, Tari Eason and all of the Houston Rockets, they struggled the other day. Actually, funny enough, yesterday. They barely snuck this game out against Miami. Shout out to Amen Thompson for getting the tip-in game winner for Houston. Kevin Durant tried to close the game on a mid-range shot, missed, and Amen Thompson tipped it in with no time left on the clock and won them the game. So shout out to Amen Thompson. But if it's taken all that to beat Miami, I can only imagine how Houston's going to stack up in the Western Conference against Denver, OKC, San Antonio, even the Lakers. I'd say even if the Clippers sneak in or something, yeah. I don't feel great about Houston heading into the playoffs. I don't really have too much to say about Friday. I missed majority of these games. Blazers beat the Timberwolves. Obviously, this is without Anthony Edwards playing as of recently. I would just Sumu inserted into the starting lineup. But I do have to say, maybe been a top 3 to 4 center in all of basketball throughout the last month of the season. Look at this game log for Klingon. 21-12 and 3 blocks. 28-13 and 2 blocks. 14 and 11, 11 and 15, 21 and 15, 11 and 11, 18 and 13. I don't know how many of you guys are bettors, but I have been seeing that Donovan Klingon's double-double odds are always been in plus as of recently. Donovan Klingon is honestly, if I'm looking through all centers in the NBA, let me go through stats real quick. If I go to, can I do this by centers, defensive leaders? Oh, shocker, it makes me cook on Wemby, right? If I do it by position center, after Wemby, Jokic, Bam, Mobley. Yeah, I think that's about it. Maybe Jalen Duren. I think I'd probably take Jalen Duren over Klingon too. I'd take Chet Holmgren over Klingon. That's about it, dude. Klingon's nice. Klingon's one of my favorite players. If you guys remember, he was on that UConn national championship winning team with him and Stephon Castle. But yeah, Donovan Klingon has been playing lights out basketball as of recently, and I had to show some love to the Portland Trailblazers because as my Warriors have been falling in the standings, the Blazers have jumped my Warriors now by 2 full games to probably host the play-in game between the Blazers and the Warriors. I don't feel good as a Warriors fan if that's the team we have to see in the first round of the play-in because of their interior presence, because of Denny's ability to get to the rim, Scoot Henderson's ability off the bench to be aggressive, Shaedon Sharpe, Drew Holiday's high IQ, and mainly Donovan Klingon has just been incredible as of recently. So Portland's one of my sneaky teams. I kind of wanted them to tank the second half of the year just so that they could get one more young piece before they go into true contention, hopefully in the next couple of years. But I have been saying Portland Trailblazers are the team to watch in Giannis sweepstakes this offseason. I know it sounds crazy because you guys would think, oh, why would Giannis want to go to Portland? Drew Holiday, Damian Lillard. I know, Koa, VCU did not come through for us, unfortunately. That was unfortunate. But hey, great games though. Great games all around yesterday. From Texas Gonzaga turned out to be a great game at the end. How about the ending of Nebraska Vanderbilt, huh? That was sick. Ending of Arkansas High Point. High Point was so close, man. They were a couple of shots away, and then Darius Acuff Jr. just said, "It is my game to lose," and took over that last 5 minutes. That was awesome to watch. A top 5 prospect. If High Point did it, it would have been exactly cool. It would have been epic. But at the same time, you gotta love watching a top 5 NBA prospect play as well as he did late in that game, because he fully took that game over. I mean, it was literally just Acuff versus High Point late in that game, and Acuff just was getting to the rim at will, hitting really good shots, improved draft stock big time. Yeah, he dropped what? I think it was 36 points on 50% shooting. I promise you, Acuff's going to be one of the top 5 picks in the draft coming up. I don't know if he goes above Boozer, Peterson, or DeBonza. But honestly, that number 4 pick, it was Caleb Wilson before the tournament happened. But Caleb Wilson getting hurt might incentivize a team that might need a guard at that 4th spot to take Acuff. We got to see how the draft lottery pans out. But Acuff's going to be a guy that's going to be in the league for a while. I really like what I was seeing from him. Continuing on with my NBA talk, I did want to talk about this game right here. I thought this was really funny. Hawks Warriors. I know this is kind of something funny to look at, but Jonathan Kuminga, you'd think after all the time Kuminga had to prepare, he probably had this game circled on his thing. It's a home game, right? Kuminga comes out and drops 1 for 9, 0 for 3 from 3, 2 turnovers. Probably his worst game as an Atlanta Hawk. Of course, had to come against the Warriors. But it didn't even matter because the Warriors are so bad that the starting lineup of the Atlanta Hawks is absolutely dominated between Nickeil Alexander-Walker and how good he is probably my most improved player this season, because he has been electric in the second half of the season. Dyson Daniels, if Dyson Daniels is hitting 2 threes in a game, I don't know how you stop Dyson Daniels' ability on the basketball court, because not only is he the best perimeter defender on the court, he's a bigger body, he's a solid ball handler, And now if he's going to get you 28 points, it's like, that shows you the interior defense of the Warriors. No offense to Draymond. Love Draymond to death. He's not the defender interior that he once was, especially against, you know, fast, these bigger guards that are basically taller than Draymond is at this point. And Quentin Post, I promise he is not bringing any help in the interior. So Dyson Daniels was getting to the rim at ease. Muhammad Guy, 6 for 6 from the field, 4 for 4, 10 rebounds. Just dominated us. But, you know, I will continue to say Nate Williams is such a bright spot for the Golden State Warriors. LJ Cryer has been such a bright spot for us. D'Anthony Melton, after coming back from his torn ACL last year, has been amazing for the Golden State Warriors. How's it going, man? But biggest thing overall is really just, you know, without Steph Curry, without Jimmy Butler, without Porzingis, it's going to be tough for the Warriors to win a lot of games. But what's up, bro? I love Guy Santos. Yeah, he is fun. He's what we wanted Kuminga to be, you know, before he traded him, but it's healthy. But yeah, Hawks take down the Warriors in a 16-point win yesterday. Shout out to Dyson Daniels, 28 points on the day.
How many viewers do you have?
We got like 10 viewers hanging out right now. Yeah, just waiting on what's it called? People to buy boxes. So basically, they could buy boxes, any box you see in the store, and then we open them live right here on camera for them. So yeah, fun times. Let's see. The biggest game of the night last night, though. Shout out you. See, I'm rocking. I know it's Mavericks, but I am rocking a Luka jersey. The Los Angeles Lakers beat the Orlando Magic by 1 point on a game winner by Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard. Did you see the shot? It was so cool because Luke Kennard runs through the screen. His arm gets like nicked, and his shooting sleeve gets messed up. So he spends half a second moving his shooting sleeve back just for him to immediately catch the ball, take the three, bang. Lakers win the game by 1. Shout out to Luke Kennard, but mainly shout out to probably the MVP of the league right now, Luka Doncic. 33 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 steals for Luka. Austin Reeves, 26 points on 50% shooting. Luke Kennard off the bench, 13 points. Jackson Hayes continues to play well as the backup center off the bench, backing up DeAndre Ayton. But the Orlando Magic, this was a game the Orlando Magic really should have won. I can't lie. When I was watching this one, I thought the way that the Lakers were coming back late in that fourth quarter was very stoppable by the Orlando Magic and what the Magic have done defensively all season long with their versatility and switching ability, specifically in their starting lineup. But yeah, Javon Carter came off the bench, shot 11 threes. Don't love Javon Carter taking 11 threes, but the Lakers' game plan a lot of the time is to leave those lower-end bench players open, and Javon Carter came out 3 for 11 from 3, 13 points. But you can see the bench plus-minus impact, plus 11, plus 18, plus 9. That's what worries me the most about the Lakers heading into the playoffs is that second unit really good enough to match up with the second units of other Western Conference teams? But I guess, you know what? When you're playing a team like Orlando and the starting lineup is banged up the way it was, Paolo shoots really poorly from the field. Shout out to LeBron for playing incredible. I know the stat line doesn't look great, but incredible defense from LeBron. Officially breaks the all-time record for most games started in an NBA basketball career. The same day that he tied the record, he put up a triple-double. It's like we're watching absolute legendary performances from the greatest longevity in basketball history now, LeBron James. But the Lakers come out with a 1-point win there. I talked a little bit about this game earlier, but the Rockets beating the Heat in a 1-point win. Shout out to Amen Thompson for tipping the ball in at the last second to give them the win over Miami. But I want to shout out Bam Adebayo because he has been amazing. Even since his 83-point game, he has just been awesome. 32 points, 21 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. He only sat for 3 minutes of this game. And it was a lot of it was because Alperen Sengun was playing very well offensively. He was getting to his spots and getting those hook shots to fall. But the biggest mismatch in this game was really the Rockets don't have any backup big man play. As you can see, Clint Capella didn't play in this one when they were getting beat in the rebounding column by Bam by himself. But really, 1-point win there for the Rockets. Good win for the Rockets. They needed a couple win streak because they were one of the teams that we were looking at after this stretch. Losing back-to-back games to the Lakers, losing to the Nuggets, losing to the Spurs, losing to the Warriors. This was a team I was probably looking at as going a little bit down in my power rankings, but Rockets needed a couple good wins against Eastern Conference opponents, and they bounced back. Shea dropped a light 40 points on the Washington Wizards. This ended up being a way better game than it should have been. Cleveland had to come all the way back in the fourth quarter, but who would have thought a tanking team tanks at the right time. Pelicans blow this game in the fourth quarter with Donovan Mitchell 27 points, James Harden's 20, Sam Merrill's 15, and Evan Mobley's 18, carrying them over 25 points from Zion in the win for the Cavs. Also, Zion is definitely a name that I would mention in trade rumors this offseason. I know that every year is Zion trade rumors. I think this is going to finally be the time that Zion is really going to start having a market, because I think because his value has depleted as much as it has up to this point, I think we're going to see some contending teams reach out and say, hey, if we can make the salary cap fill, let's take the flyer on Zion Williamson to be that starting power forward next to, say, Victor Wembanyama or a Nikola Jokic or a Eastern Conference team like the New York Knicks maybe trading for a Zion or the Raptors trading for a Zion. I think Zion's officially, because his value finally isn't where the Pelicans have valued him, I think that this game, that Zion might be finally moved come the offseason. I really hope so, because we've been trying to see Zion on a new team for years now, so we got to see what ends up happening there. The Spurs beat the tanking Indiana Pacers by 15 points behind Wemby's 28-6. But the biggest matchup of the day, this was a fantastic overtime game between the Clippers and the Mavericks. Kawhi Leonard hit the dagger late in this game, dagger three-pointer to put them up by 4, and they never looked back. Kawhi with 34 points on good, efficient scoring. I will continue to say I'm going to miss Kawhi playoff basketball. I wish he was on a better Eastern Conference team. But props to DG the PG. A lot of people looked at the way that the Cleveland Cavaliers were early in that trade, in the immediate James Harden part, and said, oh, why would they have given up Darius Garland in that trade, for James Harden? Well, Darius Garland goes over to the Clippers, 41 points, 11 assists, and 3 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, 15 of 24 from the field, 8 of 12 from 3. That's exactly what a Kawhi Leonard team wants from their starting point guard, a guy that's not scared to shoot the ball, not scared to facilitate the half-court offense, and that's exactly what Darius Garland is. He's been around the block now when he first came into the NBA, he was the worst NBA player statistically in the entire league. Now he's turned himself into one of the best ball handlers, one of the best pick-and-roll guys in the NBA. Love what I'm seeing out of Darius Garland as of recently. And as for the Mavericks, 18 points from Coop, 28 from Najee, 21 from PJ, 17 off the bench from Marvin Bagley, 13 from Ryan Nembhard. It doesn't really matter, though. They lost it in overtime to just the better top-end talent. That's really what it came down to. Higher, more experienced shot-making in overtime later in that game. The Sixers took down the Utah Jazz. Now, we know the Jazz are tanking, but I really want to talk about the 76ers because vibes are down over there in Philly, man. I hate to say it, but look at their starting lineup. Edwards, Barlow, Bona, Grimes, and VJ. Only one true starter in that starting lineup, and that's VJ Edgecombe. No Paul George, no Tyrese Maxey, no Joel Embiid, no Kelly Oubre. Good for the Sixers for still finding ways to win this game. They shot, 22% from 3, and if you would have told me that before the game, I probably would have told you the Sixers lose. But 50% from the field, they hit a lot of free throws in this one and dominated the rebounding. As you can see, VJ Edgecombe, 13 rebounds on the glass. Trent Watford, 9 rebounds. Andre Drummond, 8. Adem Bona, 5. 56 rebounds compared to the Jazz, 39. They just dominated possessions. And that's kind of where you can see they won this game pretty easily for Philly. And then in the night game, shout out to Ryan Rollins for almost dropping a triple-double. 26 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, leading the Bucks to a good win against the Suns. Bucks need some bright spots to look forward to going into this offseason because now there's more managerial issues coming up between Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks. I have no idea what's going to happen between the Bucks and Giannis. I think Giannis is going to get traded. I hope Giannis gets traded to where I've been saying Portland is my top team to where he's going to go. Obviously, the New York Knicks rumors aren't going to go away. The Spurs rumors aren't going to go away. The Warriors rumors aren't going to go away. Heat will always keep themselves in contention for it, but the Bucks need some young talent to look forward to, and Ryan Rollins is really bringing that right now, alongside Ousmane Dieng. Just a couple, solid players for the Milwaukee Bucks. And as for Phoenix, I would have loved to see Phoenix win this game. running out that lineup of Colin Gillespie, Jalen Green, and Devin Booker has really brought a lot of success as of recently. The problem was they have no interior rebounding help, man. I have no interior defense and rebounding help. I hate to say it, but Maluak is just not there yet as a basketball player. You can see it when he's out there. The interior defense is just really rough. That's why Oso Ighodaro has to play a lot of interior defensive minutes against guys like Kuzma and Miles Turner. But like Jericho Sims came in and actually had an impact in this game. And the only reason he had an impact was just because the Phoenix Suns really did not have any interior play in that game. But if you look at the standings heading into the final stretch of NBA basketball before we get into the playoffs, the Pistons are basically secure to keep this #1 seed. I know they are only 4 games up technically, but I think even with Cade Cunningham getting injured, there's 12 games left in the season. I don't see the Celtics outperforming the Pistons by a whole 4 games, or technically a whole 4.5 games to end the season. I think the standings are actually going to stay relatively the same. I think the Hawks get out of the play-in, which I predicted to you guys like 2 weeks ago with all the injuries Philly's been dealing with. Orlando. That's why Orlando really needed that win against the Lakers because they're trying to get out of the play-in. That win really would have helped them out, but no, that win puts them now as the 8th seed, so now they're not even hosting their first play-in tournament game. Don't love that for Orlando. I really think Charlotte and Miami, out of these 4 play-in teams, I really could see Charlotte and Miami being the best 2 teams. I know only one of them would make it, but I mean, depending on how the standings end up, I think Miami and Charlotte are the teams I would take if the Sixers aren't fully healthy and with how struggling the Magic have been recently. And looking out west, the Timberwolves have started to struggle ever since Anthony Edwards went down with his injury. Who would have expected that to happen, right? Anthony Edwards goes down, Timberwolves aren't as good a basketball team. But the Clippers have jumped up to the 8th seed. That's kind of been the biggest thing recently. Clippers jumped up. They were obviously 6-21 at one point. Now they're sitting at 35-36 as the 8th seed. I think the Clippers might have to go see San Antonio or OKC in that first round. If Kawhi can be healthy, I promise you that is not going to be a cakewalk for whoever that top 2 seeds is in the Western Conference. It's not going to be a cakewalk 7-game series. Even though the Thunder and Spurs are as good as they've been all year, no one wants to see a healthy Kawhi Leonard come playoff time. So I really hope the Clippers end up sneaking into that 7-8 seed. I kind of hope Phoenix falls out of it because the more I watch Phoenix, the more I just lose interest in them. If the Warriors can be healthy, and when I say healthy, that just means Steph Curry, Draymond, and Porzingis. I feel good about the Warriors making it out of the play-in. I think the Warriors and the Clippers are the best 2 teams here. I would love to see the Blazers show some noise, but I think they get killed in the playoffs by any of the top teams. I just want to see Steph Curry make the playoffs later in his career because how can you not want to see Steph Curry in playoff basketball? But that's kind of what we're looking at right now in terms of lottery odds. The Pacers have the #1 pick. The Wizards have the number 2 pick. The Kings have the number 3 pick, and the Brooklyn Nets have the number 4 pick. Those are definitely the bottom 4 teams in the NBA, though. If we're talking about real tanking teams, Pacers, Wizards, Nets, and Kings. Jazz might be able to jump up, but it looks like the Jazz are going to have that 5th best odds right now. And then it's going to be like the Grizzlies and Pelicans before you get to the Bulls and the Bucks. But yeah, that's going to do it for my NBA talk for today. Looking into the last, 12 to 13 games for most teams heading into the playoffs. Just got to hope that no big injuries happen in the later half because we don't want to see any big injuries right before the playoffs ruin a playoff series that could have been legendary.